That mean you've never ever put me on speakerphone either? Don't put me on.
I'll put it over the microphone so everybody can hear. If I'm talking on the phone, I'm usually talking on speakerphone. But I'm always away from somebody. So I'm never around it.
Your granddaughter?
Wait, that's the only one. She doesn't know enough. Play it by ear. So it is what it is, and I'm going to feed her on mine on that. I'm going to try to temper. Because I can get out of it. And, you know, once this is over with, it's over with. We'll move forward with the decision the board makes. Yeah, and if they, hopefully they will too.
2 minutes, Bill.
2 minutes? Oh, yeah, there's not.
Yeah.
2 minutes. Oh, somebody lost their cold drop. Cough drop. Maybe fall out of Bill's pocket. He might be looking. He might be.
He might need that for his throat later. Camera, I'm not trying to find paper, you know? Can't do all that, the electric, the trons, you know? I'm gonna try to. I mean, I set it up and it seems pretty easy, but, I don't know. I'm with you. I read the paper. Yeah.
Okay, I'd like to call the meeting to order, and at this time, I'd like to ask that you set your cell phones to silent or vibrate if you would, so it won't interrupt the meeting. And stand with me on the opening prayer. Remove your hats if you have one on, and then we'll do the pledge after that. Lord, thank you for bringing us together tonight in such a beautiful town. Thank you for blessing us with your presence in this town. Thank you for our town staff, our police and fire departments, parks and recs, all of them, public works, inspections. Thank you for all of the wonderful people we have that work for this town. Thank you also for our citizens that turn out to our meetings. Let us all work together knowing that we live in one town and we're one people with the common cause of making this a better place to live. In your name we pray. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, liberty, and justice. Okay, so the first item of business is public comment. That would be for anything that's listed on the agenda, and no one has signed up for that tonight. So that makes that section relatively easy. So we'll move along to the adoption of the agenda and consent items. And I'd like to get a motion to adopt the amended agenda to add the board appointments and unappointments of the Board of Adjustment and TDA. And the consent items from December 9th, which is amended meeting minutes, and December 10th, and closed session, and the budget schedule. So can I get a motion, or does somebody want to pull anything out of the consent and talk about it individually?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, hearing none, it passes, and so we'll move on to appointments, recognitions, and presentations. And Ms. Elisa will come up and explain a little bit about that for us.
Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners. Our first board that needs reappointments or appointments is the Planning Board. The Planning Board has an expiration this month for Mr. Rogers, and he wishes to receive reappointment. There will be a vacancy with Mr. Benoit's election to the board for his seat, in which appointment will be needed for. And we have one ETJ seat that expires this month, and Ms. Hancock would also desire reappointment for her seat. There are 7 in-town individuals interested in serving. Their names are listed up on the PowerPoint. You have Gary Kerouac, Brian Lowe, Ryan Swanson, Rochelle Lovejoy, Jeff Brooks, Laurent Mayor, and Frank Terzi. At this time, I welcome any discussion, or you may use your orange sheets of paper to cast your ballot for a nominee.
Okay, any discussion about any of the people in the talent bank? And, yep. Anybody would like to come up as a request of one of our commissioners? Yeah, so if you'd like to come up to the microphone and introduce yourselves, you don't have to, but if you'd like to, that would be welcome. So anybody like to do that? Okay, just state your name and address, please, and appreciate you
Laurent?
coming up.
Laurent Mayer, 220 River Ridge Drive, Swansboro. I just put in a submission. I thought I had some typos in it from some edits that I was going through, so I apologize for that. But certainly appreciate your consideration. I've been obviously a commissioner, but also a planning board, and I really enjoyed it. I think there's a number of other good individuals there as well. So thank you very much.
All right, thank you for stepping up. Anyone else interested in the planning board that would like to come up and speak? Okay, guess not. So we're going to do a paper ballot. So we need to pick 2 or 1, Elisa?
You'll need to pick one in-town seat to fill Mr. Vanoy's vacancy, and then you'll need to choose to reappoint or appoint somebody else in the
Okay.
seats of Mr. Rogers and Mr. Hancock. And Mrs. Hancock. You can make the reappointments without casting written ballots, but for the vacancy, written ballots is the way to go.
Thank you for clarifying. That's why I was
Mhm.
unsure about if we needed to do.
Would you like to go ahead and
So
address
we're
the
going to-
reappointments?
Do what?
You want to go ahead and address the reappointments first before
Yeah,
you?
yeah. Anybody have any issues with the reappointment of the people that are wanting reappointment on the planning board?
I would recommend both for reappointment.
Second.
Okay, so yeah, we'll just go ahead, let's vote on that, just make sure.
I mean, I'll be happy to make a motion to reappoint both to the planning board.
Okay, and we had a second from Tamara, right?
Correct.
Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
So we'll reappoint those 2.
Okay.
And now we have to vote for a person for the vacant seat that Tim is vacating.
Lisa, do you want our names on these ballots?
Yes, please include your name on your selection. Frank Tercey received majority of the votes, so he is your elected appointee for planning board. You would
Okay.
need to make a motion at this time to finalize his appointment.
Okay, so do I have a motion to appoint? Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, all opposed? Okay, only 1, so he's appointed, and I don't see him here, so you'll notify him, I'm sure,
Yes,
right?
he'll receive an in-length email
Yep.
regarding his appointment.
All right, thank you.
The next board for appointment consideration is the Tourism Development Authority. You did amend your agenda to address this board for an unappointment. I would recommend we handle that first and then do appointments. I'll go ahead and open that up to the board for going
Okay.
further with that.
Okay, anybody have any discussion about unappointing anybody on the TDA?
Yeah. I would like to unappoint Stephen Oversby on the recommendation of the chairman for the PDA and the fact that he's going to be running for office. Actually, he is now. Carteret.
Okay, so we have a motion to unappoint Stephen. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, I've got a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? So that passes, and you'll also email him, I'm sure.
Yes, I will.
Okay.
So there are 3 seats up for reappointment on the TDA, and with that direction, a vacancy that you can now appoint for. For the reappointments that are interested, does the board have any discussion on Linda Thornley, Preston Patterson, or Mikey Deal's reappointments?
Any discussion on the people that are on the board right now? For reappointment, okay. All right, we need to do a motion to reappoint.
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, all opposed? Hearing none, that motion passes, so we'll move on to the next one.
For the TDA vacancy, you can now use your orange sheet to nominate the person that you're interested for that vacancy. The individuals that are interested in a seat for TDA are Kelly Brown, Sherry Hancock, Catherine Madison, Ryan Swanson, and Lee Evans.
Okay, as we did in the other advisory committee, if anybody's here that of those list of names, if you'd like to come up and address the board, we'd more than welcome those comments. And just state your name and address, please.
Mayor, thank you, Commissioners. My name is Kelly Brown. I live at 203 Cedar Trail in Hubert. I've been part of the Swansboro community for almost 11 years now. I work at the hotel as their director of sales. I handle all of their incoming groups, meetings, and things like that. I have handled a few other committees within Swansboro for the past 11 years. The MAC, I sit on the board of the chamber. I also do one big fund, not a fundraiser, but a big community thing out on the I-95 every year. This will be my 4th year that I will go supporting Swansboro. It's the National Travel and Tourism Week, the first full week in May. I spend 2 days on the I-95 representing Swansboro, bringing people in from the 95 this way and coming back south, coming back in. And this year I work with Anne Marie with the TDA. We put heads together and see what we can do. We're going to do a basket this year. So we're going to have a lot of emails that we'll be able to not mark it out, but help us get people coming into Swansboro with all the events that we are putting on and things like that. So, thank you.
Thank you, and I would like to thank you for your heavy involvement in the Military Affairs Committee and the Chamber. You are an integral part of that, that's for sure, so thank you for that. So anybody else like to come up and speak? Don't see anyone that does, so let's move on to appointment, and we'll do that by ballot again.
Ms. Evans is the majority of the votes for appointment to the TDA. And I'll need an official motion to complete her appointment.
Okay, do I have a motion to appoint Leah Evans?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, unanimously passes, so we'll move to the Historic Preservation Committee.
For the Historic Preservation Committee, we have 3 term expirations. 2 individuals, Ms. Kingery and Ms. Ramsey, both desire reappointment for their seats. And Mr. Seaton, an alternate seat, has chosen to not seek reappointment. So you have 2 reappointments you can make at this time. And then you'll have 1 vacancy to fill. However, we do not have any applicants on file interested for historic at this time,
So we've got 2 reappointments
and one
And-
vacancy to fill.
and 1 vacancy, no applications for that
No
vacancy.
application.
That's unfortunate.
I know.
Okay, so the reappointments are,
Kim Kingery and Christina Ramsey.
okay, Tina Ramsey and Kim Kingery. I don't see either one here, so we won't ask them to step up, obviously, to the microphone. So do I have a motion to reappoint?
So moved.
A second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, so that carries. And I guess you will also,
We will have
let
2
them know.
alternate vacancies.
2 alternate vacancies?
We already have 1 alternate vacancy, but Mr. Seaton will make a second
Okay.
one.
Yep, so we'll actively look for that. I'll look for that search too. Okay, so we did amend the agenda to include the Board of Adjustments, appointment or unappointments, and would you fill us in on that, please, ma'am? So we've got the Board of Adjustments, so that meets as needed. And do I have any motions on that account?
And Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion on that, please.
Okay.
What I'd like to do is make a motion to remove 2 of the elected officials' spouses from the board. Background behind this is, of course, nothing personal, punitive. It's my intent, I think it's other members of the board's intent, to improve trust, confidence, and transparency in the business of Swansboro, pure and simple. So with that, I'd like to make a motion to remove Mr. Tom Parati from the Board of Adjustments.
Okay, so a motion to remove Tom Parati. Is there a second on that?
Second.
Okay, we have a second. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, so a 2 opposed, 3 for. So it
3.
carries.
It carries 3 to 2.
So Thomas will not be on that board.
So you
Okay.
now have 1 vacancy on the Board of Adjustments.
Okay. Any other motions or anything on that?
Along those same lines, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to remove Mrs. Elaine Justice from the board for the same aforementioned reasons.
Okay, so I'm going to interject here, and obviously that's my wife, so I'm going to address that and address Thomas as well. I feel Thomas has stepped up and served this town when we were short on Talent Bank, and served this town well on 2 boards, actually. So it's unfortunate that we unappointed him. So he's very active with military affairs too in the Chamber of Commerce. So thank you so much for all of that you do for the town, Thomas. I appreciate that. When I address my wife, she's a lady of very high integrity. She's a recipient of the highest award that can be achieved by a civilian in North Carolina, the Order of Longleaf Pine. So when you question, I don't want to say integrity, but when you question the conflict there, I would refute that. But so that being said, do I have anybody else want to comment?
Can I make an additional comment there, Mr. Mayor?
Okay.
I'd like to clearly say that I too have the utmost respect for those 2 individuals, and they're on 2 other advisory boards, and I certainly have been to those advisory boards, and they are high-level contributors. And there is no intent to remove them from those advisory boards, and I absolutely thank them for their service. I believe it's my intent and others, again, to just improve the public trust and confidence and transparency for the business of the town, especially with the Board of Adjustments, with the duties that they have been assigned.
Okay.
Hey,
So go ahead.
I just asked a question. Board of Adjustments authority goes, forgive me if I'm wrong, but they have the power to levy fines and recommend fines that you have to approve as town manager, right? If they're not found in compliance with something? How does that work exactly? Yeah. The reason I say it, I had appeared before at one time when I was rehabbing my house through a system of, I guess, compliance by complaint. My HOA was frustrated because I was a one-man fighting hole, basically, rehabbing my house after Hurricane Florence. And I had a rental storage space in my driveway for about 2.5 years. And I know I know it aggravated people to have it there, but we always kept the yard up and everything else like that. But I had to appear before that board, and I ended up paying an $800 fine, I guess, at that time, through the other town manager, that was his decision after that board adjustments made their recommendation. So what I'm saying is, how much do they have the authority to levy fines against citizens of Swansboro for noncompliance? That's what I want to know. Yeah, yay or no?
The Board of Adjustment hears appeals to administrative decisions. And what happened in your case was a hearing because you appealed the decision that was made based on those complaints, in which to hear an appeal at the Board of Adjustments level, there's a fine that has to be paid because of the steps and initiation to get it going, advertisement and all that stuff. Where you did pay a fine, it wasn't enforced by them. It was to be able to appeal through them. And then they handle appeals, but appeals don't go to the Board of Commissioners once it goes to them.
Okay, so I didn't mean to get us deviated off on.
Well, I wasn't deviating. I just meant the weight of this decision and stuff like that
Yeah.
falls, that these people have the power to recommend, basically taking of your property to a certain degree. Property being your monetary, or denying you of proper use or whatever else, even disconnecting you from the electric grid, as I was explained to at that time, who the town manager was. I'm not going to mention names, but it was not a very pleasant experience, Bill.
Okay, so that being said, we had a motion to take Elaine Justice off. Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed?
Neg.
Got
No.
2 opposed and 3 in favor, so that motion carries. I will say, I hate to see both of them, Thomas and Elaine, go off that board because they did serve this community very well in the absence of people stepping up to volunteer. So with that said, we will move to appointments now to the Board of Adjustment.
So those 2 motions have created 2 vacancies for in-town seats for the Board of Adjustments. Our interested applicants for Board of Adjustments are Laurent Mayor, Jeff Brooks, Brian Lowe, and Larry Philpott. You have 4 interested applicants for the Board of Adjustments at this time.
So will we take a vote one at a time or vote for both?
You can use your sheets to make a vote for one at a time.
Oh, one at a time, so
Yes.
we'll do one first, and then we'll do the second?
Yep.
Okay, so we'll vote for one person this time around,
Yes.
get it confirmed, and then we'll go for a second round for the second opening.
One at a time.
Yeah, we do the first one, confirm it, and the second one.
Mr. Brooks received majority of the votes, so a motion to elect Jeff Brooks at this time, please.
Who was that again?
Jeff Brooks.
Okay, so do I have a motion to confirm Jeff Brooks?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So unanimous carrying on that vote, and so we'll move to the next one for the second vacancy.
Do I need to repeat the interested applicants that remain?
Do you guys want to hear the applicants that are interested again?
Yeah.
Okay, sure.
So that will leave Brian Lowe, Laurent Mayor, and Larry Philpott. Larry Philpott was the majority of the votes, and I'll entertain a motion for appointment
Okay.
finalization for him.
Okay, so Larry Philpott was the one nominated. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Okay, all in favor to approve?
Aye.
All opposed? So that motion carries unanimously, so welcome to Larry as well. So that concludes all the board appointments?
Yes, sir, it does.
All right, thank you very much, Elisa, appreciate it.
Mhm.
And thank you to the past board members, advisory committee members that have served, and welcome to the new ones that have been nominated. So we move to the public hearing section, and we don't have a public hearing tonight, so we'll move past that to business non-consent, which will lead us into Ward Farm Village preliminary plat modification that Rebecca will explain to us.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and Commissioners. Tonight, we have a preliminary plat modification request. Ward Farm LLC is requesting an amendment to the preliminary plat that was previously approved for Ward Farm Village subdivision. That's located on Deer Island Road, located within Swansboro town limits, and it is zoned residential R8 single family. So we have an overview here just to get a visual. The original preliminary plat was approved on September 18th, 2012, with 43 lots on 13.83 acres. Of the 43 lots, 20 have been recorded and sold by the way of Phase 1 and Phase 2 on the final plat, and they were developed in accordance with the residential cluster development regulations. These developed phases include original lot numbers 1 through 12, 14 through 18, and 27 through 29. The amendment is in relation to Phase 3, which is asking to include the addition of lots 42 through 47 to the northeast side of Ward Road, where no lots were previously requested. So this doesn't have a laser, otherwise I would point, but if you see where the stormwater pond is at the bottom of the map, it would be the wooded area above that is where the new lots would be added. This request has already been updated on the state-issued stormwater permit and is consistent with current zoning and future land use designation. Please see the more detailed application. They wrote a pretty detailed narrative describing what they're asking for as far as the amendment. And the plat amendment was recommended for approval to the Board of Commissioners by the Planning Board at their last regular meeting. We also have representatives from Ward Farm here, and if you have detailed questions that I'm not able to, Mr. Freshwater is more than happy to come up and answer your questions.
All right, thank you.
I also have the preliminary plat here. It's a little hard to tell, but it has all three phases. The bottom part of the plat is phase 1 and 2 that's already been recorded and completed, and phase 3 that hasn't happened yet, as well as the additional lots asking to be added is on that plat as well. Is there any questions
Yep.
for us?
Anybody have questions for Rebecca? So it's two lots primarily, am I understanding that correctly?
So lots 42 through 47 are requesting to be added,
Okay,
but
okay.
in the narrative, they explain there's been a few administratively approved recommendations of some of the lots in phase 1 and 2. So I think, and correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it was 6 lots that have over time been combined into just 3. So if you do the math, they're only really adding a couple lots from what was originally approved with the subdivision.
Any questions for anybody? Discussion? Nope. Okay, do I have a motion to approve or deny the Ward Farm subdivision preliminary plat modification?
Make a motion to approve.
Okay, so I got a motion, and a second.
Second.
Okay, second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, all opposed? So that carries unanimously, so the modification is going to move forward.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. All right, this is moving right along because it's only 30 minutes in. We're going to have a short meeting, it looks like. So we'll move to John Barlow, our town manager, to discuss some advisory committees.
Good evening, Mayor and Board. Yes, at the December 9th Board of Commissioners meeting, you requested to place on the agenda a discussion item concerning 2 ad hoc committees that we have here in town, one being the EOC, Public Safety Building, Land Acquisition Committee, and the other being the Pool Committee. The EOC Committee was appointed back in February of 24. They last met in October of 24. The Board of Commissioners have been acting in that capacity since then. On December the 5th, this past month in 2025, we did acquire 5 acres of land located at 768 West Corbett. That's probably not the right address. It is for now, that's right, until we readdress it. It's really on Main Street, it faces, but it's part of a larger tract that's on West Corbett. So in essence, the purpose, I think, which the Land Acquisition Committee was created is no longer there. So I would suggest that the board consider just dissolving that. And if you desire that, we'll bring back a resolution probably at our next board meeting to officially make that happen. The second one is the Pool Committee. They were tasked to study the idea of a pool in Swansboro. At the last meeting, I believe, of the committee was a joint meeting between the Board of Commissioners and the Pool Committee. And at that meeting, you tasked them with creating a survey. They did create the survey and have collected the data. My understanding that the chair of that committee, Matt Crane, would like to present that data, so I would suggest that we get him on the next available agenda for his schedule that he could be here to present that data. Then the board at that time determine whether they want to continue with that committee or it served its purpose and you could dissolve it also.
So do we need to address each one individually, I would assume?
Sure, you could just, those were the 2 you have, the only 2 committee, and I think that was just a request of the board, just to kind of get a status check on, what, do we still need them or do we change their direction or what? But that's where you are with both of them right now.
So just so everybody knows, obviously, probably everybody already knows, we purchased a piece of property on Main Street Extension for the public safety facility for $1.3 million of the $3 million grant we had for land acquisition and infrastructure. So we no longer have the need to search for property for that committee. So do we have any discussion about that committee? No discussion? Do I have a motion to continue with it or to dissolve it?
Make a motion to dissolve.
Okay, so I have a motion to dissolve that committee, a second.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Well, any discussion first? Yep, sorry, that was my, okay. So no discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So we will dissolve that committee as we have purchased a piece of property. And second is the swimming pool committee, and did I understand you correctly? We're still waiting to compile the data from
The survey is complete, they've collected all the data, and they just are ready now to present it, their findings to you. I believe he is going to be available at the next board meeting in February.
So is there any discussion as to what we want to do with that board?
Yeah, I think they should be able to finish the job they started.
Okay.
And assign the task and present us with the results and stuff. So, yeah.
Okay. So is that a motion to continue until
It
we
is.
get the results of the survey?
Yes.
Okay, so I have a motion to continue with that committee to let them finish with the survey results and present it to the town, if I'm not putting too many words in your mouth there? Okay. So do I have a second on that?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So that motion carries to continue with that committee and let them present at the next meeting. So that'll be on our future agenda for next meeting, I'm assuming? Or will that be down the road a little bit?
It'll look good.
It'll be in February.
Okay.
Mr. Prain's going to meet with his committee on the 28th of this month, and they're going to review the survey results, and then they'll come to you to present
Okay, in February, okay.
in February. If his schedule permits, I'm hoping he'll be the 10th of February, but I guess it could be the next meeting, the 24th.
Okay, all right, thank you. So now we move to future agenda topics. Does anybody, or go ahead, Elisa, and tell us what's on there first.
So upcoming on your January 27th, you will have your audit presentation, a public hearing for the rezoning requests for a parcel on Swansboro Loop Road. There will be the official creation of the Appearance Commission by way of adopting an ordinance for the town UDO to create that committee or commit that commission, and your monthly financial report. Are there any other items the board wishes to be on that meeting?
Tim, do you have anything you'd like to bring up to see put on future agenda? It may not be the next meeting, but it could be sometime in the near future.
Yeah, I'd like to sit down with the Historical Preservation Committee and discuss our way forward.
Are you interested in a joint meeting?
Yes.
And to that point, I think, John, you're working on that, I believe, aren't you, John?
Yes.
Good.
Touch with State Historic Preservation Office in Raleigh, ask them if, their availability to come down here and help conduct a joint meeting with the town board and the.
Like an educational type thing?
Right, and so looks like February they're going to be available to, so what we need to do is get some dates of your availability that we can schedule just a special work session for that purpose.
All right, thank you. Is anything else, Tim? Okay. Doug?
Yeah, kind of dovetailing on what Tim was talking about here. I noticed a couple of, in the talent bank, individuals looking for the appointment to an appearance or commission. It's something that we didn't discuss here tonight yet, but we're doing appointments.
Because we're not creating that committee till the next meeting, and we
Okay.
can't appoint to that committee till after you guys officially create it
Okay.
at the next meeting.
So that's already a future agenda topic. we've
That'll
got.
be a future agenda
Okay.
item.
No, I'm good, man. All right, we're good.
All good?
Moving on.
Jeff, anything for future agenda? Okay, Wayne?
Just to add to what Doug was saying, for clarification, how many members are going to be on that appearance committee?
Our draft ordinance right now has 7 members for that committee.
I mean, right
That
now, looking at
commission.
the talent pool, it doesn't look like we have
Correct.
nearly that
There's-
many
I've
applicants.
only received 4 applications for that committee at this time.
We offered them a couple of options. They chose to be part of a recognized committee. They thought that would be better. We advised them, probably as a board, we give them advice, probably be independent, but we let them have a choice. They chose to go that route, so we chose to support them in that route with the last board.
And I remember being at that meeting. I just was wondering because I was looking at the talent pool and obviously comparing
Just
it to
trying
the
to
other
fill in some-
advisory boards and so forth with the numbers. The only other additional, future agenda item, I know it's planned, is to continue with the pursuit of the updated diagram and plan for the bathroom facility, visitor center, and related discussions about that. Otherwise, nothing else to add.
We have it on the list, we just don't have it tentatively with a date, because it's going to depend on when we get back engineer drawing.
I've seen people actively working down at the visitor center here the last week or so. I see them almost on a daily basis down there, so I'm assuming we're moving ahead with that. And we've got the diagrams drawn up. You're going to touch on that? Okay. So John will touch more on that in his comments, but that's a good point. We need to get that moving
Great,
along.
thanks. Nothing else, Mr. Mayor.
Okay. Cameron? Okay. I do have one thing. We have a young lady at the high school. I've already talked with Elisa about it. Her name is Kristen Newbold, and she's been invited to participate and sing at Carnegie Hall in New York City as part of a recognition program for accomplished, I guess you'd say, choir members or choral members or whatever the appropriate term is. But that's quite an honor to be asked to sing at Carnegie Hall. And so I'd like to maybe recognize her somewhere in the near future. And if anybody knows of any other outstanding citizens or students, athletes, whatever the case may be, please feel free to bring that up to our attention so we can do that. I would like to kind of look into, and I've mentioned it a couple of times, so I don't know the feasibility of it, of seeing what we could do to connect the new Moore Street dock into the Riverwalk dock area to go behind El Chino and by the, I guess it's the Meadows house, it's an Airbnb, and connect that into a boardwalk and have a nice boardwalk along that waterfront there if it's something that we could really accomplish without a whole lot of hoopla and effort. And other than that, that's all I have. Okay. And you know, I forgot one thing. An update, it kind of ties in with that, an update on the Main Street dock where we're going. I'm sorry, still in John's thunder. So we don't have any items moved from consent, so we'll move the second public comment, and we don't have anybody signed up for that. So now it would be John's turn with manager comments.
Mayor, boy, I just want to bring you up to date on a couple of projects that you had just mentioned that they've been out there for a while, but there's been quite a bit of movement recently. Just want to make you aware of what's going on in the background, and you'll be hearing more about these in the future when we ask you to take official board action on these. First one is the sidewalk project. Back in March of 25, we contracted with Arendale Engineers to survey and design about 7,000 linear feet of sidewalks in 5 project priority areas. You may have noticed in the manager's report and some of your agenda packets in the back, those project areas are identified. Well, they have finished the survey of all the 5 areas. They, as of today, are about 80% complete with the engineering and design of those sidewalks and are near to having the areas in which we would have to acquire any easements that might be out of the road right of way. So once I get those, I will get a plan to bring that back to you just as soon as I can. He expects to have the completed engineering design to me at the end of the week. So I would think by early February we would have this out to bid, bring those bids back to you, and at that point we will discuss funding. Right now we have we do have $100,000 of old SCIF funds that were given to the town for sidewalks, but there's no doubt in my mind those 5 project areas are going to far exceed $100,000. So it'll be up to us to decide if we want to do any or all, what we're going to do is bid out all 5 of them, so we know where we are as far as, with the cost to do all 5, and then let you all decide which project and priority areas we want to go after. Some of them are going to be more, complex, particularly the ones on 24, where, just the short sections on old hammocks between assisted living and Pineland, a short section there. We just need to acquire a little bit of easement, but that might be an easy one to do. So it'd just be, up to you all, how we phase in those 5 areas over time. I don't think we'll be able to do them all at once, but I think prices today are considerably higher than they were, 5 years ago to finish, 5-foot sidewalks. So that remains to be seen, but at least we've made a lot of our progress, at least to get them designed. They'll be there. We'll know what we'll have the encroachment agreements from DOT, so whenever funding is available, we'll have a shovel-ready project, which helps us if we're going to make a grant application somewhere. You have something shovel-ready, ready to go. You're more competitive to get grant funds. The other project, Main Street dock replacement. Back in August of 25, Coastal Management awarded the town for a grant of $170,000 to replace the Main Street dock. Last week, I got an email from Coastal Management letting me know that contracts are forthcoming. They didn't tell me exactly when I was going to receive the contracts, but I think they're obviously getting ready to make those disbursements to all their grant recipients for the next round of funding. We can't go out to bid for engineering services or construction until we're under contract with the state to do that. But in the meantime, what we have been doing is getting working with our consultant, Kathy Vinson, with Coastal Planning to get it's going to require a major CAMA permit, and she has been working on that in the background. So if we can get that out of the way, it'll kind of speed up the process once we can identify an engineer and get a design and put it out for construction. Those funds that we're spending now are going to be local funds. That's a 25% grant, where 25% of it would be the town's responsibility, or about $35,000. So what we're spending now on engineering services, planning services, will go towards our local match. Last, the visitor center. Yeah, you may have noticed a little bit of activity down there. Public Works staff has begun prepping the outside of the building to repaint it, but there's a lot more work that needs to be done. At the December 9th board meeting, the board, its consensus was to redesign that facility and reopen it not only as a visitor center, but to make it a transient voter facility, adding a considerable amount of public facilities, bathrooms, a lot of bathrooms, washer, dryer, and office space for staff, and handicapped bathrooms and showers. Back in 21, John Freshwater and his company designed a floor plan for the renovation of that. The town got a grant from Onslow County TDA to help us purchase some bathroom equipment. We have that, but now that we're expanding considerably, we're going to need to buy more. We're going to move around a lot of things in the inside. We're not going to change the outside or the footprint of the building, but inside there's going to be a lot of changes. We reemployed John and his company to redesign the floor plan, give us some engineered plans, so we have something to work with and take to some contractors to get estimates on what it's going to cost to actually make those improvements. Right now we have about $56,000 remaining in that project budget. Swansboro TDA has allocated us $30,000, and the town has about $26,000 left that the board had previously appointed to do some downtown projects left that we could use on that renovation project. Is it going to be more than $56,000? I don't know. Hopefully John will give us some good estimates, but I got a feeling it's going to be more than $56,000. So we'll be back to you in the very near future once we have good construction estimates, what it's going to cost. Also, the plan is to go back to Onslow County TDA. I think their application period is March for TDA requests. So once we have some good numbers, we can put a grant application together and go to them again for some additional funding now that we decided to expand this project greater than it was 5 years ago.
Hey, John, can you, let everybody know that's here, the numbers for how many toilets are going to be there?
Didn't bring my sketch with me. Paul, do you remember? Once we get a formal set of a design, we'll bring it back to the board just so y'all can see what we're going to put out there and construct inside that. A lot of bathrooms and shower facilities, yes.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of activity there the last, so
Yeah.
appreciate that.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's all I have.
Anybody have any questions? Anybody else? Thank you, John. All right, so we move into the board comments now. So we'll start at the end with Tim and work our way down. So Tim, go ahead and give us your comments.
Real quick, I'd like
Also, I'd like to thank Ms. Justice and Mr. Parati for your service, for volunteer for the town, as well as anyone that was reappointed or appointed. These boards are not easy, but the nice thing of seeing is quite a few names on here. I know in the past, especially for the planning board, there was no one that had volunteered and stuff like that, but I appreciate that. But also, I'd like to, recently over to Christmas, I attended a party at with the police, and I was amazed. I got to talk to some of the fire guys and the police as the morale down there. But I wanted to bring up of just seeing all the awards that were given out to our to the police. I think it's a good thing. We had, I think, one that got recognized for being getting hurt while arresting someone. But I just want to put that out there that I think it's a good thing. And Chief, I appreciate the things that you're doing down there.
And Doug?
Hey, thank you for everybody for coming out tonight as well. Just a couple of quick comments here. I'm glad to see we're making progress again on the sidewalks, John. It seems like we were going through a little dry spell there, getting the survey work done and everything, but I know it's been our number one priority since I stepped in here, and even before the previous board was working on this too. Making Swansboro more how do you say it? Nicer to walk, easier to get by with bicycles or even your own 2 feet and get some exercise out there. Glad to see that we're making good progress on the visitor center as well. Main Street dock. I mean, you've been busy, obviously, and stuff during the holidays, as I understand this. You didn't take much of a holiday this year because of that. And I want to thank your staff guys that also helped in those efforts to move these things forward. Look forward to hearing from the pool commission in the future. Like I said, that's going to be next meeting, if I'm correct on that one. Yes? When, February? Okay. So look forward to hearing what the results were in February for that. Welcome new board members again, both Tim and Wayne and Jeff back as a, what do you call it, incumbent? Okay. The way going forward, I think, is we continue to communicate with one another, continue to be inclusive in the discussions and stuff, and what's best for the town. Just to say this, we've had some discussions over this past week, sometimes not pleasant. I realize that. I told you when I got elected this, I'm very passionate about providing the enumerated services for this town. That is safety first, filling potholes, right? And then everything else those are must-dos. And that's still going to be my main focus, to provide the best service that we can provide to the taxpayers and citizens of Swansboro. And with that, God bless everybody, and we'll see you next time.
All right, thanks, Doug. Jeff?
Yeah, I'd just like to emphasize a little bit about our advisory boards. We got some people out there, some of the former commissioners, Larry, Grant. They can tell you that over the years, these talent bank names have been like that big. Not many people willing to step up and do anything. So we've had to ask people to step up and be on another board also. We knew they were willing to do one thing, they'd probably do another. So yeah, we took advantage of their availability. Tom did that. I know I went to him personally and asked him because there was nobody to fill the spot. And so I appreciate him doing that. We currently have, we had a list of 16 names. Of those 16 names, 3 of them are currently on advisory board. Personally, I would like to see no duplicates, that more people get involved. Of course, there is one exception to that rule, and that is the historic preservation rep. That's also, they're on the historic board and they're on the planning board because they're a rep. So everybody, if you're here and you served on the boards, thank you. It's important. Want to do something, please go on our website, fill out the talent bank application, and because people come and go, people get tired, they get burned out, and they want to leave, and we have to get them filled, and I'd like to have every seat filled. If you know anybody, ETJ, in our ETJ, that's the hardest ones we can't seem to fill. So if you any of your friends that are ETJ want to be on the board, have them go on the website.
All right, thanks, Jeff. Wayne?
Thanks, Mayor. First, let me thank everybody who's here tonight. Thanks for taking the time out of your busy schedule. Your input, whether it be tonight or in future meetings, is critical as we move forward together in support of our town that we all know and love. To the town staff, thank you for your support. I've sent numerous emails over the last 30 days as I kind of forecasted what happened, and all the answers I've gotten have been polite, professional, on time, on target. Especially want to thank Rebecca, Lisa, and Chief Randall for your detailed responses that you've given me recently on some applicable items. I really do appreciate it. You're helping me out, and I want to say thank you for that. I want to reinforce the comments that were made by some of the other commissioners, or I think everyone said, about thank you to all the people who have been on the advisory boards, were appointed to advisory boards this evening. We've got a lot of talented people in this town. It's evident when you look at their hard and soft skills, the things that they've experienced, the things that they've contributed to in the past, and it shows you that penchant for what they will contribute in the future. And I look forward to attending a lot of those advisory boards and supporting you in every way that we can. Finally, I wanted to give a shout out to a Swansboro High School social studies teacher, Mr. Cason Justice. I don't know if you saw this in the Tideland. It was probably, Jimmy, I think it was in your last Tideland of the year over the holidays, so some people might have missed it. But Mr. Justice won the award as the Onslow County Teacher of the Year. He then went on to win the award for the North Carolina Southeast Region Teacher of the Year, and now he's competing against 8 others for the State Teacher of the Year honor. So that's fantastic to see. And on a personal note, Mr. Justice was my son's freshman social studies teacher and his JV baseball assistant coach. And when I told my son that, who lives now in Raleigh, he said it brought back some great memories of not only Mr. Justice in the classroom, but in the dugout. And he reminded me that was a year they went 17-1, which was the best record they had in any of the 4 years he played high school baseball at Swansboro. So he has some fond memories of Mr. Justice. So a shout out to him and to all our teachers and those administrators that support our students and our community. That's all I have, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you, Wayne. Tamara?
Town staff, fire, police, parks and rec, town hall. Sonia, very busy. Everybody's been very busy. I appreciate all the work that you do. Paul, I got to see firsthand last week, a little bit of what you do. Rebecca, Jake. Welcome to the new advisory board. Say thank you to Plain Justice and my husband, Roddy, for their service. Say I do not agree with removing board members that have stepped up and given time. It actually sets a bad tone to other people that want to step up. Ms. Barlow, thank you for all you do. Been very, very busy.
Okay, is that it? Okay. All right, thank you. Yeah, I just want to piggyback on what an amazing town staff we have, whether it's our town manager, lawyer, staff here at Town Hall, police, fire, I could just go on, Parks and Rec, planning, inspections. We are very blessed to have such a diligent crew working for this town that keeps this town functioning. I didn't say finance, and I got to remember finance because they really keep us running. So thank you all for that. We are really, really fortunate to have the quality staff that we have working for this town. Thank you to the board members. The new board members, again, welcome. Welcome to all the new advisory board members, and thank you to the leaving advisory board members. I do want to bring out a couple of things. It's going to be kind of boring, but I asked if we go to any type of committee meeting or anything of that nature that we bring back a report to the board. So I have a couple of committees I went to. First, it's not a committee, but John and I met with Representative Wyatt Gable yesterday, had lunch, had a good discussion, really nothing substantive. It was pretty, just a easygoing type lunch discussion, and he's very willing to do what he can to help this town, whether it be funding, touching on which the grant that we got for land acquisition and the excess money we have, he's going to check in with appropriations and see how we can best use the leftover money from that it was 1.3 we spent, so we have basically about 1.7 left of that grant, with the $6 million grant plus the interest that we've accrued over the last couple of years. Also spoke with Senator Mike Lazzara yesterday, and I'm going to meet with him again tomorrow at a meeting, and he is extremely happy that we're moving forward with the public safety building. He's almost ecstatic. I mean, he's really happy with the direction we're going. He's also going to talk to the appropriations and see how we can best use the money that we have left over, and if there is any leftover money from other projects out there. So that's good to hear. Our two main legislators are willing to help this town. So we should be thankful to them. If you happen to come in contact with them, reach out and thank them, please, because they are integral in us moving ahead with some of our projects. I also am on let's go to Jim Hamrick first. So in our property search for the public safety facility, we had the pleasure of meeting with Jim Hamrick and the Hamrick on his property there, a little under 100 acres next to Rotary, and he donated to the town a couple of colonial buttons that he found, a mid-1800s coin that he found, what's called a cat face, which is wood that was used in a house, but the cat face is used to extract resin from trees during the colonial days and 1800s and whatnot. So he donated that along with a couple of railroad spikes that he found that were part of their train that came down to the lumber mill right where Casper's is at today. So that was very nice of him to donate those to the town. We in kind are going to donate that to the Swansboro Historical Association, and I just got the paperwork from him today, so I'll fill out the town's version of it tomorrow. So that's very nice. He said he might have some more artifacts that if he comes across them, he'll donate them to the town. So he'd be very thankful we've got somebody that's interested in doing that type of stuff. On his property that he just cleared, he's going going to see about restoring longleaf pines to the area and do that as a farm. And he's talking with the USDA and with the Forestry Service and with Chief Randall's been very integral in talking with him, and also provide training for our town firefighters on that property. So that's right across almost where we are locating the public safety facility. So getting to the meetings, I'm also on this meeting, this committee called JOED, Jacksonville-Onslow Economic Development, and you guys may be familiar with that. They were going to do Project Coffee, which was going to be the light industrial park, but that's on hold right now. They're going through a restructuring of their organization with their leadership, and I know the county has offered to chip in for 3 years, $400,000 a year to JOED to help them move forward with projects. They're moving pretty aggressively with a project called Project Ajax in Holly Ridge, where they're going to build about 2,000 homes and develop that. I mean, I'm glad it's down there kind of, but it would be good for our tax base as well. So there, the Project Coffee that we were talking about is kind of on the back burner right now with them. The property didn't pan out like they thought it was going to pan out. Another committee that I'm on is JUMPO. Everything has an acronym. Larry was on JUMPO before, the Jacksonville Urban Metropolitan Planning Organization, and it deals with roads on the municipal, county, state, and federal level, you know, with funding and engineers and all. And they're relooking at Queens Creek Road. They're doing another feasibility study on Queens Creek Road. Been kind of a squeaky wheel every meeting I go to about Queens Creek, Swansboro Loop. You know, y'all know the roads, Old Hammocks, Main Street Extension. So they're starting to put a little bit of more focus. Most of their focus has been on Jacksonville and Holly Ridge. They're starting to focus a little bit on us now. So they are going to do another study on Queens Creek Road, but still, that being said, that's not going to happen until anything in that direction, with no money funded to it until 2033, right? 2033 right now. So that's basically it. We're looking at some crosswalks, maybe get one somewhere across 24 again with some leftover money. Possibly we could get, we've got 2 crosswalks going in, one by McDonald's right there at Walmart on Norris Road, and the other one is on Phillips Road. Oh, excuse me, I misspoke. Phillips Road on the end of Norris Road, right by the McDonald's, going back to the school crosswalk there, and then one at Walmart. So they're looking a little bit to spend some money down here. Hopefully we can get some for sidewalks or something of that nature. With that being said, thank you all for coming out. We really appreciate the involvement of the community. We'd like to see the room filled for good reasons of moving the town forward, which I think we've done tonight. So with that long-winded ending, do I have a motion to close?
So moved.
Second? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? So it carries, and we're adjourned. I said that. Walmart, McDonald's.